Hey, what's up everybody? I'm TridentZ and I'm here with another Escape from Tarkov video. Today we're going to be taking a look at some budget gun options. I'm going to be giving you guys some recommendations of guns to run. On top of it all, I'm also going to be suggesting some of the different ammo types to run with these weapons. Hopefully by the end of today, you guys will have a preferred gun of choice that you'll be rocking that you didn't know about before. Before we get into it, just want to remind you guys to show some love on this video if it did help you out. I'm going to be doing future guide videos and I have a lot planned, so be sure to be around for that. And let's get straight into it. Alright, so let's kick it off with my personal favorite of this entire list, the RFB. Now, you can get the RFB at Peacekeeper level 2 as alongside as the EOTech I'm using right here. All you really do is you slap a sight on and it's good to go. The great thing about the RFB is it does use M80 rounds, which penetrate level 4 armor, and they are still a 2-shot to the chest. However, they don't one-shot people, but you'll be getting through armor really easily. And through level 5s, it does take a few extra shots, but I find with the RFBs, handling and accuracy, it's not too hard to lay shots down on opponents. So as you guys can see at level 2 Peacekeeper, the RFB is an option for $481, as alongside the EOTech 0 for $193. Now, I always do say on the channel that sights are preference, but with the new sight reworks, I find that the EOTech works best for me. Whatever you guys are most comfortable with using, obviously there is the Voodoos and there's the Valde sights. You know, if you're going for maybe woods or shoreline, you could be using those long range weapons. I find that the RFB shines mostly on interchange, where I'll be running at close quarters to the medium range in the mall. And I find that it works great for me, coupled with the SA58/FAL 20 round mags that you can also get from Peacekeeper level 2, and the M80 bullets that you can also get from Peacekeeper level 2. Now, if you don't have Peacekeeper level 2, there is also another rifle that I like to use, which is from Prapor level 1. And coupled with the 7.62x39 PS ammo and the SKS, I find that it's a great weapon to use. And whenever I use the SKS, I like to, here, I'll show it off to you guys. I'll go to Peacekeeper level 2. And instead of going for the internal magazines, I'll just put a little bit more money to get these SKS 20 round mags. That way, I'm not putting in the bullets one by one, and I can mag feed the gun just by reloading in game. And all you got to do is take out the internal mag, put it on your person, and there you go. You have a 20 round mag. You can put some ammo inside of it, and you'll be rocking this gun with magazines now, instead of having the old-fashioned 1x1 10 round internal mag. Now, rifles are not everybody's preference. Sometimes people like to get up close and personal. Sometimes people want that full auto weapon, so it bails them out at certain moments. And I totally get that. So let's get into some of the full auto weapons that I suggest. Up next is my personal favorite for the budget full auto weapons, which is the AK-74m. Now, the AK-74m is just one of the many 545 weapons in the game, but I find it has the best base stats, so it is the best to build on top of. So what I've done here with this AK-74 is I've actually put on a butt pad. I've changed out the pistol grip, the dust cover, the sights, as well as the handguard, and of course the compensator. I'll be showing you guys how to do that. Don't worry, it's a lot of words, but I promise you it's not that hard. As you can see here with this AK-74m that I built, we have the EOTech again. Like I said, sights are your preference, whatever you want to put on there, that is totally up to you. Here we can see that this base is 85 recoil as well as 51 ergo, and we've made the stats a little better with the 54 ergo, but what's really important here is that 62 vertical recoil. Coupled with that EOTech, you're going to be getting kills pretty easily. I'll be showing off the recoil for you guys shortly, whenever it's full auto, of course. Now, to build this, all you're going to want to do is right-click and click Edit Preset. If you want to buy the parts one by one, you could also do that, but I find the Edit Preset option is way easier. And if you guys want to see the parts list and don't want to hear me talk through it, it will be down in the description below. I'll be posting the AK-74m, the RFB, as well as the SKS. I'll be posting everything down there, so be sure to check the description for the parts list. Anyway, right-click on the AK, click on the Edit Preset, and all you're going to do here is throw on that butt pad from Prapor level 2. You're putting that PP1901 grip from Prapor level 2 as well. We're going to be putting on the Aggressor handguard. This is going to be from the flea market, around 20 grand. We're going to be putting this DTK compensator on, which should be Skier level 2. Here we see the DTK1. And then we're going to be putting on the RK0, which should be Skier level 3. There we go. And now we're going to be taking off the iron sight and replacing the dust cover with Bastion. Bastion's available at Peacekeeper level 1. And then we're putting on the EOTech, which is my preferred sight. You guys can put on whatever you'd like, but the EOTech is from Peacekeeper level 2. There we go. That is the same gun build that we see previously. and we can buy the parts. Let's see how much the parts themselves would cost. As we can see, one of the traders is going through restock, but if we just do the math, 40k plus the 4k is 44k, plus the 20 grand for the aggressor, because I already have one, that's why it's not showing up here. That's gonna be around 60 grand, and it's not totally bad considering the weapon itself is around the 10k mark. See, we can see 12k. So in total, you're gonna be paying around 70 to 80k, depending on how you get these from the flea market, the aggressor, of course, and which is not too bad for a full auto rifle with these stats. And this will be the spray for the AK-74m that I showed off. So we can see, even with low recoil skill, that it is pretty well on target. Most of the shots are on target, at least in the medium range, and it's kind of controllable. You guys will definitely have a good time with this gun. As for the ammo that I recommend, I do suggest using the 545 BT or BS, as a Golnik right now is a little bit of overkill. Even the BS is overkill, but I find that for around 950 rubles for each BS is worth the investment compared to the 545 BT, which is around the 700 ruble mark if you don't have it from Prapper. That extra 250 rubles per bullet is worth it if you're planning on surviving a bunch of raids. But for the entry level, I do suggest the BT, as it does get the job done. It kills level 4 leveled opponents pretty easily, and especially with the spray, you guys will be taking people down pretty easily. So yeah, either the BT or the BS. BS if you're trying to go in a little bit more kitted, but the BT will do just fine. Now lastly, I want to go over two bolt action rifles, and that would be the VPO 215 and the Mosin Nagant sniper rifle. So if you're going to buy the Mosin or the VPO, it's preference. I do suggest, if you're more on the budget side, to run the VPO. And that is because the AP ammo will pen level 4 and one shot to the chest, just like the PS ammo for the Mosin, but it does cost less, and the gun itself is way less, as the VPO is like 18 grand. Slap a suppressor, that's like another 20 grand, and then the sight will be like another 20 grand to 40, depending on what sight you decide to use. For the Mosin, however, the gun base model is around 50 grand. If you want to run a suppressor, it can range from the 30 to 50. And then for the sight that I'm using right now, this EU 3.5 sight, it's around 10 grand. It's not too much, but collectively the VPO will be a hell of a lot cheaper. So I'll be showing you guys how to mod out the VPO first, then we'll move on to the Mosin. So for the VPO, what I like to do is base model VPO. You could buy it from the flea market or from Jaeger. It's usually around the 18k mark. You could throw on the 366 suppressor, then you could just put on a sight. It's that simple. I like the compact sight or even the Valde sights. For this build, I'll be showing off the compact. All you do is press assemble, take off traders, so it's a little cheaper. That's 50 grand for the sight and for the suppressor. Plus the gun, that's like around the 60 to 70 mark. There we go. That's our gun. Then inside of the gun itself, we can use the AP ammo. And right here is the AP ammo. We can buy it from either the flea market or from Mechanic Level 3. They're usually around the same price, so it doesn't matter too much. They're pretty common in raid as well, so you probably already have them by now. But yeah, it's pretty cheap. It's way cheaper than the 7.62x54 PS, and they have the same values. The only thing about this VPO, compared to the Mosin, the bullets travel way slower, they have worse drop-off, and it's not as accurate as the Mosin. Those are the three things you need to keep in mind. The drop-off penalty is pretty bad, considering the 366 travels at 650 meters per second, compared to the Mosin PS, which is 980, almost 1.5 times the speed, which is a huge difference. For the Mosin, what I like to do is I'll just slap a sight on it. I won't even go for the actual suppressor, because the suppressor is pretty expensive. If you look, another 30 grand, but for what you're paying for the Mosin already, it's pretty expensive compared to the VPO. Obviously, if you want to run the suppressor, you can. I just choose not to. For the sight, first we're gonna need one of three things. Right here is another Mosin sight. So we need this Mosin mount, and these are pretty cheap on the flea. You can see here you can buy them from Prapper for 1k or 5k from the flea. Then is the actual ring mount, and these go for around 1k as well. And then there's the expensive part, which is the sight itself, the PU sight, which is around 10 grand. You know, it's pretty cheap for a sight, especially one with good range. So that's why I like to use it on my Mosin builds. And for the ammo, of course, we use the 762 PS. Do not confuse this with the 762 by 39 PS, as they're different calibers. But on the flea market, they're around the same price from Prapor, and this one shots through level 4, so it's pretty good ammo. Alright, if you guys have any budget options that you want to recommend, let me know down in the comments below. If you guys like what you saw today, be sure to drop a like and follow for more guide videos like these. I appreciate you guys sticking through the entire video. See you guys, and have a nice day.